Welcome to How to Write an Argument Essay. This particular segment is going to talk about how to create or craft your argument. My name is Mrs. Bostic, and I'm working with PV Online with the Paradise Valley School District. This particular tutorial has been adapted from How to Make an Argument Essay on WikiHow. Let's go. Alright, step one in crafting your argument. You're going to research your topic. Once you've got an idea of what you'd like to write about, you'll need to research it. This is a vital step for writing an argumentative essay. You'll need to be very well informed about your topic and the arguments surrounding it in order to be able to make a strong, coherent argument. There are lots of ways that you can actually do your research. You can find books in a library. Remember the library? You can search the internet for reliable sources. You can read back issues of newspapers or other periodicals to get information about what you're arguing. If you can, find an actual expert on the subject and ask them if they'd be willing even to do an interview. Alright, during the course of your research, you will want to collect as much evidence as possible. Evidence is something we're going to be talking a lot about. Statistics, charts, data, and empirical evidence will help you make your argument, but also give you fodder for criticism of the other side. So, down here I give an example. Empirical evidence is information that is acquired by observation or experimentation, such as personal experience. So you can use your own personal experience, and you can also visit our tutorial on types of evidence to go into that in more depth. Alright, step two is going to be to develop your claim or your thesis. So your claim or thesis is a statement that sums up your answer to your question. This is going to be your main argument. Every piece of evidence in every paragraph should tie back to supporting this single idea. This sentence should be clear and identifiable. The stronger the statement is, the more clear it will be to your audience. As you develop your claim or thesis may not necessarily reflect the side that you agree with most. There's nothing wrong with arguing something you do not believe. This is called playing the devil's advocate, and is a common way to encourage arguments about a topic. Once you choose a side to argue, you will need to logically stick to and defend that side through the whole paper. If you change your mind, you'll need to rewrite the earlier sections. Now, your claim or your thesis, you're probably pretty comfortable with what a thesis statement is. A claim is a thesis statement, but for an argumentative paper. So an example thesis statement that would also be a claim might be the death penalty should be federally outlawed because it is disproportionately punishes minorities. So you can see that this is actually a statement where you can see the death penalty is what we're talking about. We say should be federally outlawed, so that's going to be what we're claiming, and our reasoning or our evidence behind that we're going to support that with is that it disproportionately punishes minorities. So you can see right there in that one thesis statement, we know exactly what the paper is going to be about. For step three, you want to make sure that you're clear about your focus. Your entire paper should make clear what part of an issue you're focusing on, and you will want a fairly narrow focus. Make everything as much as you can about that claim or thesis, but certainly never stray away from the specific part of a topic you're arguing. So, for an example, you'd want to focus on gender equality in child custody cases, rather than jumping around different arguments regarding men or women's rights. The more focused your topic it is, the easier it will be to craft your argument. Number 4, and this one's important, consider your audience. With your argument chosen, determine who your audience will be. This is important as it will inform the type of arguments that you make. For instance, are you writing for an academic audience? Write your argument using logical appeals. Are you writing for common people? Then you may have better luck with emotional appeals. Are you writing for your peers? Are you trying to argue or persuade your peers to do something? You may want to consider using a tone befitting the language of that age or social group. So let's review the steps to crafting your argument. Step 1, research your topic. You want to identify the topic you're interested in and start researching it. The more information you gather, the easier step 2 will be. Step 2 is where you develop your claim or your thesis. You want to ask lots of questions. What is the question or problem you're going to write about? What do you need to know before you even start? You take all that research and you start to really probe into it and look into it and try to see if you can get both sides of the story so you can figure out which one you want to align with. Step 3 is where you focus in. In step 1, you do some research. In step 2, you really hone in on what your thesis statement's going to be. For step 3, you do more research to answer the questions you asked when you're working on your claim or thesis. You begin to form your arguments and counter arguments. This is really where you focus in on what this paper is going to be about. And finally, step 4. Identify your audience. Once you know who your audience will be, you are ready to start writing. So make sure that you go through and do your research, figure out which side you're going to argue for, get some more research to help you with your claims, and figure out who you're writing the essay for, and you're ready to start writing. Again, if you have any questions or if you need help, please contact your teacher. We'd love to hear from you guys. This is Mrs. Bostic, and I look forward to working with you in the next tutorial.